Hi Flosstube, I'm Rachel, Stitchy Rach, here on Flosstube and on Instagram. It's Tuesday the 6th of June and this is my YouTube channel where I talk about cross stitch, some of my other crafting and a little bit of life things. Hi everyone, big welcome if it is your first time here. I hope you will stay and stick around and like what I have to show you, and if you do I really hope you'll like the video and maybe even hit the subscribe button. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. I am very sorry I have been extremely sporadic in my videos recently. I somehow feel I never really got back into a routine after Flossmas. And I appreciate we're now halfway through the year, but I will try and get back into a more regular routine. I'm here back on my Tuesday morning slot, which hopefully I can maintain going forward. But it's nearly a month since I saw you. I think I last saw you on the 13th of May, so a little bit under a month. But a lot has been happening. I've got a lot to show you. I hope you've all been well. Summer, first your weather forecast from Kent. Summer is trying. It is trying. It's really breezy today. I think if there wasn't a breeze, it would actually be quite warm. But we haven't had, I don't think, many really nice days yet. The weekend was quite nice. And we had a few days before the half-term break, but I don't feel summer's really kicked in yet. And we're taking the dog for a walk after this. And it's, you know, it's nice. I won't need a coat or anything. But I do still quite like having my big cardi because of just that breeze. Anyway, I digress. So it has been a long time since I saw you. Just another few really busy weeks. Just I seem to be saying this every single time I film, but had to do a lot of stuff at the kids' schools, and then it was half term, and yeah, and I'm fitting you in today because if you've been here from the beginning, you'll know I have a bit of a saga with one of my teeth that keeps having bits break off and another bit has broken off, and so tomorrow I'm going to go and have a crown done at the dentist, which I'm not looking forward to say the least. And then yesterday through the post I got a summons for jewellery service. I've never done that. So yeah, I can't actually do the dates they've sent me because I'm on holiday. But I've sent them some new dates, so I'm wondering if I can get the cross stitch into the court, because I believe there's a lot of kind of sitting around and waiting. And you know me and sitting around and waiting. Got to have something to do while that's happening. So once I get the bump and my actual dates, I'll have to see if getting cross stitch in there will be possible. Right, shall we jump in without any further ado? As you can see from where I last one, I still haven't moved my lovely peacock. But I thought, oh, he looks nice there, doesn't he? You can be there and you can admire him while I film. Right, if you haven't seen this on Instagram, it's a piece by Yaz Made with Love, and it's called The Uniqueness of Others. It's kind of slipping down, but yeah, head on over there. I really like it. So, last time I spoke to you, I said I was really focusing on finishes and I was really enjoying finishes. And I've kept that up, to be honest. So since I last saw you, I've had 2 finishes. Who am I? And that list I told you about of what I wanted to finish, I had 10 things. I was like, focus on those to finish them before the end of the year. I now have 3 out of that 10 done. So I'm feeling pretty good, actually. I'm feeling pretty good. So, what have I been stitching on? So the first thing I finished since I last saw you was the garden sampler. I think I showed this on my last video. So this is from the Band Samplers book by Prairie Schooler. It's book number 40. I finished this quite early on after I last saw you. It's stitched 1/2 on 40 count light mocha by Zweigart, and it's stitched in all the called for DMC, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. The only thing I would say about it is if you look at the cover of the book, it does look more brown than this kind of yellowy green, so it's all a bit more yellowy green than I was anticipating, but I absolutely love it. So that will have to go to the framers as well now. Yeah, I love a garden stitch. And that is the first Prairie schooler I've ever finished, unbelievably. But they are just so beautiful. I particularly love like the veg patch bit with the rabbit. Really enjoyed stitching it. It was quite a quick stitch. Really enjoyable stitch. And then I put my initials in down the side of the house and the date in round the berry bowl. Yeah. So that was the first one down. Really happy with that because that was on my to finish this year. And that was a Stitch Mania start in 2021, I think. That's one of the pieces I started that year for Stitch Mania. I'll just put that down there for now. And then the second piece I finished was Quaker Alphabet by, oh, I suppose scissors there, I wondered where they got to. Quaker Alphabet by, hold on, let me fold it better so you can see it properly. Hold please. Quaker Alphabet by La-Di-Da. And there I've committed my sin of leaving my needle in. I always used to leave my needles in. And then, if you watch my Flossmas, you will know that I got a load of rust stains on some old finishes that had been left somewhere that wasn't as dry as I thought it was. So don't leave your needles in fabric, people. I learned the hard way. I do when they're still whips and you know they're not going to be around that long, but if you're putting them away, please take the needles out. Anyway, so I finished this one in May as well, and this was a Stitch Mania start last year, I think. I think this was a Stitch Mania 2022. So I think it got finished just after its 1 year birthday. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love everything about it. I'm really happy with my thread choice. I'm really happy with my fabric choice. It's stitched on 36 count latte, I think. Let's have a look. No, that's the Penelope's pocket time. 36 count latte. And I'm pretty sure this was a foxglove and lace fabric, although I haven't seen them dye or sell anything for ages, so I don't know if they're still doing that. And I stitched it with sulky, 1 thread over 2. And I really enjoyed using the sulky actually. I wouldn't want to use it for everything, but actually on the 36 count I was really happy with the coverage. I've never used it before. And so the lighter colour is sulky. I've lost the top bit of this reel, which is the bit where it tells you what it is. Hold on, might be in here. It is. It's a sulky 12 weight blendable and it's number 4055. And then the darker blue, which I used for the letters, is a 12 weight 1293, and that's a solid colour, the letters. So I'm absolutely thrilled. I kept this in this Penelope's Pocket Project bag because I got this chart as a gift from Sarah, and when I bought this bag I'd commented on her Instagram that I really liked the chart and I'd never seen it before, and when I bought this bag the chart was in it, and so it has stayed in it until it is finished. And you must have known, Sarah, because I've just seen on the little, that's very bent, I've managed to really bend that safety pin. So Sarah always puts these little was like knit marker safety pins, but I managed to really mangle that one. But you must have known, Sarah, because you put a little blue and white button on it. I think it's going to show properly, but it's a little blue and, there you go, little blue and white button. So you must have known, Sarah. Anyway, it's now finished, and I said to Sarah, would you like the chart back? And she said, no, it's a gift. And I said, how would you feel if I gave it away on my next Flosstube? And she said, I think that would be a great idea. So this chart is available still from La-Di-Da. The only place I found it is 123 Stitch, but I'm sure if you contacted one of the UK retailers that stock La-Di-Da, I'm sure they'd be happy to to order it in for you. But if you would like to win my copy, that was Sarah's copy, and it is a fairly quick stitch. As I say, it was a 1 year anniversary finish, just about, and I haven't really stitched on it for, you know, any kind of concerted period of time. It was a very enjoyable stitch, and obviously you can, I think it's charted in Belle Soire, but as I say, I did it in sulky. You could really pick any thread you wanted. So if you would like to win this, please comment below with the word Quaker. Don't say giveaway or freebie or prize or any of those. Please be over 18 so I can have your address, but I will send it anywhere in the world, and I will announce the winner in 2 weeks on my next Flosstube, and I'll try and stay on time and on schedule. So yeah, if you'd like to win that, please say the word Quaker. But I know a lot of people really liked this chart, so there you go, that's that. Right, so they're my finishes. And then, because I had finished the Prairie Schooler, I think I've shown this before on this channel. This is my Elsie, which is another product from Sarah at Penelope's Pocket. And it's actually a thread minder and a needle minder. So it's got a little magnet stitched in up here that I have put a load of old needles on. That's where I just stuck the one that was stuck in that fabric, and it's got the felty stuff that you can stitch that holds thread. But on the outside she's covered it in, I think it must be vintage country mocha 32 count from Zweigart. And if you stitch in hand, you can stitch onto the outside of it. You need to be able to stitch in hand because you need to do the sewing method, because obviously on the inside it's covered and you don't want to go all the way through. But what I've been using mine for is when I finish a piece to stitch, if there's like a motif I could stitch easily, to stitch a little motif on the front, so it's kind of a record of my stitching. So I chose a radish. Can you see the radish? Go on, focus. There you go. And I stitched that radish from the Prairie Schooler piece. This one at the top was from my Modern Folk Embroidery Japanese Hirangara sampler. This one was from the Owl Forest Embroidery Fox Forest. And that was from House on Pumpkin Hill Pin Keep, I think. But yeah, so I've stitched on my radish, and I think you can add, I don't think you can buy an Elsie, or I think she's got one called a Mabel that's blue rather than pink. I don't think you can buy them on their own, but I think you can buy them with a project bag. So if that is something that appeals to you, I would recommend that. And I really enjoy just kind of keeping kind of a little stitch record of my stitching on that. So as I finish more things, hopefully I will add a few more. I haven't added anything from the alphabet sampler because it's 32 count, and you have to loop start really, because obviously you can't get to the back of the work. I can't work out how to use a one strand of sulky really to start it off. So if you have any ideas, do comment, and I could put a little motif from the alphabet sampler on as well. But yeah, I can't work out how to make it work with sulky when I can't do a loop start. So as I say, any ideas, let me know. Right, and then I have two whips to show you. So the first one is my Out and About whip. So I actually finished Quaker Alphabet while we were at my in-laws. So over the half-term holiday that we've just had, we took the children to see my husband's parents. They're up in Shropshire. So we did a few outings. My husband's brother lives close with his children, so they saw their cousins. We went on the Severn Valley Railway. So we tend to do something like that when we're up there. We've done a lot of the Iron Bridge museums already with them. And then we had a rather disastrous walk one day where a lot of the farmers had just made their footpaths completely impassable. I hate it when people do that. Anyway, so we had this like epic walk where it was just a bit of a disaster. And then when we got back, I finished that. So I finished it on Bank Holiday Monday in the afternoon, because I knew parents-in-law and you're not having to do the cooking. Like, I help out and stuff, but you know, you're not kind of responsible for any of it. So yeah, I managed to get some stitching done there. So I finished that in Shropshire, and then, as you'll know if you've been here before, that Seize the Day is my out and about stitching. So that is the stitching I do whilst waiting for my children to complete their more fun activities. And good. I started this in 2019 as a Sal. Sal is long finished. I am still going. And so after I finished Quaker alphabet, I pulled this out and I did some stitching on it at my parents-in-law, and then it was half term, so there wasn't really any out and about stitching last week, because obviously the clubs are mainly off in half term, and since school restarted I haven't had any out and about stitching, although swimming stitching should be on tomorrow. And I can't actually remember where it was when I showed you. I suspect quite a lot's been done on this since you last saw it 3 weeks ago. But here's where it is now. So I feel I'm making really good progress with this. I've nearly finished that boat. Done that bit of seaweed. Done that fish. I've started a fish over here. I've finished that kind of wave that's lapping the shore. There's quite a lot of blue filling to do on that. So I'm really getting there with this. I think can see the end for this one now, I really can, which is very exciting because it has been ongoing for some time. I'm kind of playing in my mind with whether when I finish the piece I'm about to show you, I just pull this one out and try and just get it finished, because it's not hard stitching, it's not. And I think if I actually just focused on it, I could probably get it done fairly swiftly now. But yeah, we're not there yet. Anyway, I'd say there's been a fair amount of progress there. And the reason I came over and did this random fish over here is because in here is the shell with the pearl in it. Here. And I decided instead of Alexa's chiming in. I want to attack it this way rather than this way, so I thought a better jumping off point would be if I put these 2 fish in, and then I can go at it from that side rather than trying to come across from that side. Hence why I've kind of jumped right across to the other side of the piece. I'm using all the called for DMC. It's by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. Sorry, I didn't say that. It's by Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and it's still available on their website as a PDF download, or maybe even as a kit as well. I think a kit as well. I'm not using the called for fabric. The fabric was a Crafty Kitten fabric. They're no longer trading. But I think it's a 32 count. I think it was called something like Gold Rush. But I am using all the called for DMC. So there we go. That's that one. By the way, I'm hoping today goes a lot smoother than the last video as well. I've had no battery drama. I don't know what was going on last time. And I have scouted the spare room for dead animals. I haven't found any dead animals either. So hopefully we won't be interrupted by cats. I haven't seen the cats today actually. I think they're outside. One of my children really likes having the cats in their room overnight. And I ended up with both cats in their room overnight last night, and they've got clearly trying to get out, and they've like scrabbled up his carpet near the door. I said, "Did you not hear that?" He was like, "No." She's like fast asleep in the way children are. Oh yeah, we also had a sick bug over half term as well. That was fun. I had one really interesting night where I ended up just sleeping on the sofa because by the time I'd cleaned up a bedroom and said sick child was in my place in the bed, and I went back down and I looked at the child and the husband and the amount of space, and I was like, nah, I'm going on the sofa. I'm going on the sofa. Anyway, all good fun. Right, the final whip is what I have been focusing on in an evening since we got back from Shropshire. And I haven't actually had much. it feels like it's been quite slow going, but then when I think about it, it's only been, it's a week today we got back from Shropshire. So yeah, not a load of progress, but not terrible, not terrible. And this is Jane Marshall, 1857, by Hands Across the Sea. I'm pretty sure this is still available on their website as a PDF download. I bought it when it was a fundraiser for the Australian wildfires. And I think it's what they used to call a little gem. I don't know if they still call them little gems, these little samplers they do. But anyway, if you're interested, go and have a look on their website. And I'm on the bottom band. So there you go. When I picked it up, I'd literally just done the brown branch in the flower band. So I've finished that flower band. I brought the sides down, I've got to the bottom, and then I'm just starting to work on this very kind of floral pattern border. I think I'm starting to get into a rhythm with it. The first night it was really slow going, but I think now I've worked out how I want to stitch it, so I'm starting to get there with it. This is stitched on, I think it's a 36 count as well. I've definitely decided 36 count is where it's at for me. I know that's not for everyone, but I'm pretty sure that's where it is for me. It's a 36 count clotted cream, and again I think it's a foxglove and lace fabric, but I'm really happy with it. I can't decide, what do you all do with your reproduction samplers? Do you all stitch the girl's name? So this says Jane Marshall, aged 10 years, 1857. So I feel like there's a real kind of divergence here. Some people that just stitch it as it is. And then there's other people that are like, I don't really want a load of random girls' names on my wall. So tell me what you do. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. So that's why I've left it blank. So I'll do that last. But hopefully I'll have this fit. I think I'm going to give this one to the end of the week and see where I am with it. And then I think I want to change. But I am really on a finishing kick. I am not interested in starting things at the moment. I'm really not. I don't know why. I just have no startitis at all. I really just want to focus on my whips and whip them down. And I know I said that at the beginning of the year, but we all know that what you say at the beginning of the year ain't always how it pans out. I've had years where I said I'm not really going to start much and I started like 20 things. So it's actually quite nice that I judged myself quite well at the beginning of the year that no, I didn't want to start things. I wanted to focus on what I have, and I am actually really enjoying it. I've told you what it's stitched on. It's charted in DMC or Soie d'Alger, I think. And I just pulled from stash. So I pulled a mixture of overdyes that I had in my stash, which are a mixture of Colour and Cotton and Classic Colourworks, I think. I don't think there's any Gast in there. No, there isn't. Colour and Cotton and Classic Colourworks. They're very close to the original charting. But yes, I'm very happy with it. Very happy indeed. So yeah, hopefully when I see you in 2 weeks, that will be a finish, and I'll be working on something else to a finishing point too. I keep this in a House of Stitch and Stash project bag, but because I'm finishing things, I'm emptying project bags. I've got 2 fancy project bags downstairs that need projects putting in them. I'm actually just going to move current whips from there, not as nice project bags, into nicer project bags, rather than starting anything. Honestly, I'm not trying to be like puritanical about it. I'm just not in the mood. I'm just not in the mood to pick up something new and start it. And then this isn't a whip in the sense I haven't actually stitched anything on it, but I have done a lot of frogging, so I thought I'll show you. So this is Seasons of the Heart Spring by the Blue Flower. I got mine when it was in Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher because I have a subscription, an online subscription. But I think you can now buy it. Oh, in fact, I know you can now buy it just as a chart. And I'd done quite a bit on this, and I'd brought this heart round, and I'd started doing, well, I'd done all the berries and the daffodils. So I'd done all these berries, and then I started doing the daffodils. And when as I was doing the berries, I thought, oh, something's not quite right here. But I just carried on, and I thought, it's all right, I'll fudge it. And then when I got to doing these daffodils down here, there just wasn't enough room. And I'd missed out, I think it was like 2 stitches coming down this side, but it did mean that this heart wasn't going to join up properly. So I had to pull everything out, basically. So I did that one morning. But it is now at least ready to be picked up and stitched on again. And I think this is going to be my out and about stitching once I've finished Seize the Day. This is on a Chromatic Alchemy 32 count in Raven's Core, and I'm using the Called For DMC on this one. So it's quite exciting because it has been hanging over me. I think I realised it was wrong towards the end of last year, and I just put it away, and it has been hanging over me going, I know that I can't just pick that up and stitch. I've got to work out where it was wrong, because I hadn't even worked out where it was wrong, and then B, I've got to rip it all out. So it is kind of a bit of a weight off that I have now worked out where it is wrong and ripped it all out. And that is all the stitching I have for you. I do have a little bit of haul, shall we? And it is a little bit. Shall we have a quick look at my haul? What have I got? So I got some charts from eBay. I think these were a job, yeah. Everything I am about to show you was a job lot on eBay, and I got the lot for 10 quid. So honestly, you can get some really good bargains on eBay. And even if like they're not all to your taste, for 10 quid I could resell a couple of these and be, and still be really happy. So I got a Tisket a Tasket by Brenda Gervais. I got 2 Bent Creek First Moon Colony. Quite like that. And I don't think I'd have gone and picked that up on its own, do you know what I mean? And this one, Home Sweet Home. And again, similar deal with that. I don't think I'd have gone and picked it up on its own, but I have it now. Another Bent Creek, So Happy. And this looks like it's got some buttons in it, actually, which I've only just realised. Yeah, there's some buttons here just above the rabbits. And it looks like they are in here. Yeah, they are. I got this Teresa Kogut. I think everyone's seen, what's it called? Curious Bunny. You're very nice. I'm not sure I'd ever want to stitch all that white, but I like him very much. The Nebby Needle, Fields of Clover. And Pineberry Lane, Quaker Egg Pin Keeps. And the SER, it does tell you, S is for spring, E is for Easter, and R is for rabbits. But yeah, all those for a tenner. So I was pretty happy with that. I thought that was a bargain. And then my Cottage Garden Threads of the Month came from the Poppy Patch. So I'll just run through these very quickly with you. I got Frankie. It never wants to focus on these. Hang on. Oh, I've got a manila envelope here. I've got Frankie. Camellia. Lychee. I like that one. Sea Change. And Laszlo. Sea Change always makes me think of The Tempest, because it's a line. I did Tempest for A level, it's a Shakespeare play, and one of the lines is to suffer a sea change into something rich and strange. I think Caliban says that, or is it Ariel? It's a long time ago. Anyway, I have some knitting to show you. I'm just going to stop the camera briefly, so if you're not interested in knitting, I'll say bye now, and if you are, I'll see you again in a moment. Hi, I'm back. It was a bit rushed at the end because I was my camera cuts out after 30 seconds and I was on 29:53 and I was like, I just want to stop it, but I don't want to have to edit together some stitching bits. Anyway, so I'm on to knitting now. So if you're not interested in knitting, I completely understand, and no hard feelings, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Please don't forget the giveaway, please do enter. But if you're here for the knitting, woohoo! I have an FFO in knitting. Who am I? All these finishes and FFOs. So I was tidying up my stitchy spot the other day and I came across this in one of the bags. This hat. And all the hat was knitted. So the cream hat was completely finished, and all that needed doing were these multicoloured bits of stitching on it and the pom-pom. And I'm pretty sure it had been in that state for 3 years, maybe. And I made it for my daughter and she was going, when are you going to finish my hat? So anyway, I finished it. This was a kit I bought when I was kind of just starting to learn to knit from Stitch and Story. They aren't in business anymore, but it's just a seamed hat. It's not knit in the round, it was knit flat. There's a seam up that side. And then you just had to literally stitch these different bits of wool on. It was called the sprinkle hat or something. And then attach the pom-pom to the top. So after, as I say, kind of 3 years of just sitting there, it is done. It is not perfect knitting, as I say. It was when I was kind of getting back into it. The kind of edging at the bottom's a bit doolally and whatnot. But the child was very pleased with it, and I'm very pleased to actually have it FFO'd and not just hanging around. So I'm pleased with that. And then my main knitting has been the Glory wrist warmers that I'm also doing for one of my children. So this is a pattern from Rowan wool. Anyway, it's available on Ravelry. I will link it below. I have finished one wrist warmer. Hurrah! It's a little bit tight on me because obviously it's for a smaller person. And I am doing really well on the second. So I am at the thumb hole. So I'm now no longer knitting in the round. I am now knitting backwards and forwards and leaving a gap for the thumb hole. Because that on this pattern, that's all the thumb hole is. There isn't kind of a knitted bit that covers at the bottom of the thumb. It's just a hole for the thumb. So I'm on that bit. So, you know, that won't take much longer. I did knit in the car on the way back from Shropshire and got most of this done. So it really won't take long to finish that off. So I just need to get on with it. This is also in a Penelope's Pocket project bag's little pouch. So that's that. And then I've got a tiny bit of knitting haul to show you. So I usually buy the Skein and the Stitches yarn of the month. So it's not a club, is in the sense you have to sign up for the year. Every month she posts the club. She posts a club and you just go on to her site and buy it. And this month this was the May one, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was the May one. It was the Romantic Landscape. She's doing an art club. It's a romantic landscape. And I get a mini skein of sock yarn and a skein of DK. And that's how they came. So it's quite a nice mossy green with brown tones. Yeah, there we go. And I did also buy her candle. So she also does a candle of the month, and I did buy that as well. This was Nectarine Breeze. Very nice, very nice. So that is all I have for you. It wasn't loads of knitting, but it was a bit. Tape stuck to my arm. So I hope you're all starting to enjoy the sunshine wherever you are. I hope you're enjoying your stitching as well, whether you're in a starting mood or a finishing mood or somewhere in between. I have been trying to get back on top of Flosstube. I had quite a few weeks where I just didn't manage to watch any Flosstube at all. So I wasn't really aware what was going on. But I have watched, who have I watched this week? I've watched Jessie Marie Does Stuff. I've watched Stitchy Sally, I've watched Charlie Feathers, Ros Clark Crafts. So yeah, I'm trying to get back into my Flosstube, and I'm trying to be really good about commenting on all the Flosstube I watch, because I'm not always the world's best commentator, it must be said. So I am trying to get better at that. Anyway, I will try and see you in 2 weeks. I'm really going to try and get back into a routine, a proper routine, because it does work better when I am. I feel like I had a lot to show you today, and a lot of very on me stuff in terms of finishes and whatnot. Please do enter the giveaway, and I will draw it just before I film again in 2 weeks' time. So until I see you then, see you later, Stitchers. Bye.